This episode of Don't Bother Wearing Seatbelts is from our first season, now free from behind a paywall. It's a discussion of the early Elephant 6 release, Are You Sleepy? By the Gerbils. If you aren't familiar, just know that they were critical to the early development of the E6 movement. But don't take our word for it. Take a listen to what John Kieran Fernandez, you know the guy who played with so many great E6 bands and started cloud recordings, has to say.
When people speak of the early Elephant 6 groups coming from Rustin, they speak of the big three, Apples in Stereo, Neutral Martel, and Olivia Tremor Control, but unfairly pushed to the periphery is the Gerbils. If they do put a plaque or something in Rustin, I hope it includes all four, because the Gerbils have deep roots in that scene as well.
All right. Are you connected now?
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, John.
I'm connected now and forever.
Awesome.
Very nice.
It's important to be connected.
So I think we're just we're waiting on Scott at this point.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
While we wait for Scott Spillane to join, here's a quick Elephant 6 history lesson. The origins of this collective go back to the town of Rustin, Louisiana, before it spread to Athens, Georgia, Denver, Colorado, and beyond. While the total number of artists associated with the E6 world varies depending upon the person preaching the gospel, there are at least 47 universally acknowledged. And there from the beginning is this episode's guests, the Gerbils.
And looks like
Oh,
here he
it
is.
is.
Scott, can you hear us? I've had a pretty terrible week emotionally, and I would say listening to the music, especially Are You Sleepy, for whatever reason, it has really helped me get through it. There's a very positive feeling. I mean, it's the nature of the music is both reminiscent of another time in my life, but also its own thing, very much its own thing, which I really just like the mood and vibe of it. It feels like recognizing, yeah, there's some parts of life that suck, but it's also kind of cool and fun. I mean, just going from like the first few tracks, which have very sort of poppy vibes, but the lyrics aren't necessarily as
No, the
poppy
lyrics
as-
are dark
Yeah.
like compared to the music, for sure.
I definitely feel like my life is a garbage can sometimes. But yeah, so it was like the perfect thing for me this week to listen to a lot of you guys. And I think that, you know, both the records I think are really great, but this one especially, Are You Sleepy, just really, really did the trick for me. I think the big difference, obviously, I think the other record is a little bit more diverse in the types of sounds, but this one was just sort of like overwhelmed me with, it's gonna be all right, which is good.
No, no.
Well, I'm glad. That's very nice. Makes me happy to hear that it could help me. That's
Are
awesome.
You Sleepy was not actually my first Gerbils album. I got the Battle of Electricity the day it came out, actually, because I was aware of you guys at that point. But after taking it home and listening to it, I realized that this was something special, and I ran out almost immediately and bought Are You Sleepy, and yeah, never looked back. They're amazing records.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Glad it worked out.
So the idea of this whole thing is just sort of like a combination for the uninitiated who are unfamiliar with you guys. It's kind of like, this is a good place to start. This is what this band was all about and all of that. And then for the people who already know who you are, I'm sure there's lots of little things along the way that will be of interest. So that's kind of the general idea of this. It's very sort of, yay, Gerbils. and kind of what you guys have been up to and doing and stuff like that, and just trying to better understand everything. So
Yeah. What I can remember, I'll let you know.
I'm gonna have to jump in and interject and say this is really, really just the weirdest conversation, because the record's like 25 years old or something. I could not even imagine anyone asking me any question about this record 5 years after the fact.
It's a
I
beautiful
mean, imagine
album.
like some weird offshoot of Captain Beefheart being talked about. It was written in 1965, but by 1975 it would be gone, and it would be gone to history. There would be no one would even remember. It's just kind of strange how historians, and I guess we have you guys and guys like you to thank that, keep an interest in the music. But unless you were in the top 50
Yeah.
in 1985, you would not know. I mean, there would be like 4 kids probably in maybe Rustin, Louisiana, that dug out your record from the Goodwill shopping bin. It's
Yeah.
just odd. I mean, it's just really.
I will not
that you
in any
guys
way
are
argue
even-
with you about whether or not I or any conversation I have is odd. You are correct.
She comes to me whenever I am locked inside my room, buried in the tune that I call love. She sings to me the words I cannot hear, but then the melody's so clear it makes me cry. Her love is so beautiful. Her love is so real. It smells like she's leaving me to find a place she never will call home. I stand shaking like a stone and smile inside. She's calling me to come to her and curl inside her room. I hear lies, acid too, but I won't die. The pain is so beautiful. The urge is so real. It smells like
says a little bit more about you, about how you view your creativity, whether it's you're not stuck in the past or whatever. I mean, for me, my impression of it was like just sort of kicking myself for not listening to it back in the day, even though it was probably, at least in my social circle, it would have been mentioned. I'm sure it was, but for whatever reason, like I said, I was focused on trying to pretend to be an adult for a while. But no, I think it is a record that, say whatever else you want about it, I think it's a pretty remarkable record. To me, it just really like hit me over the head of like, wow, this is a really good record, and I don't understand why there aren't a bazillion people in the world still talking about this record. I guess kudos. I mean, I'm sure you've gone on to other things in your life, but nice job on this one.
Thank you very much.
No, thanks.
You know,
Yeah.
for me, your guys' music did mean a lot to me, and it still does. But I discovered you and your friends at a time in my life where I was deeply, deeply angry. I had escaped from living with a religious cult that I had spent the majority of my life with. And I was like on my own for the first time in my life and didn't really know anything about how the real world worked because I lived and breathed a religious cult. So I was very angry, but I had never been an angry kid. I was the kid that you'd find, you know, like sitting under a tree reading a book. And you reopened something in me, this childlike wonder that life can be beautiful and art can be beautiful.
I guess kind of just sort of adding on to sort of how I'm only hearing it now in 2024 really for the first time, at least consciously. And it still speaks to me. Maybe it sounds dated, like it's from another time, but it still speaks to me. So I think there's something special about it, whether, you know, Matthew hearing it first back in the day or me hearing it now. I mean, there's still something there that is worth noting on some level.
So how long had you guys actually been together and making music before Are You Sleepy came out?
Not since grade school, like some people think.
Okay.
What year, Scott? Do you remember what year? It was
90.
89, 90. That's a good one. 90, yeah, 1990.
Oh, wow. Okay. So
And-
it was a significant amount of time before the first full length came out.
Yeah, and me and Scott loved music, playing music together, and we had some friends. And we our first official show was as Buddha Footprint Repetition at an old church. It was all acoustic, no amps, and it was pretty cool. And I think we only did
We had amps.
we had
I think-
amps.
Yeah,
Amps.
wasn't Mike Fuselier playing bass, and that's where we got the tuna fish?
Okay, I got to know about the tuna fish.
Yes. Okay,
This,
I forgot
very
about
first-
Fuselier.
the very first gig that we played was Buddha Footprint Repetition, which was me and John, Penny Burbank, John Fernandez, and Mike Fuselier, who played bass. And it was in an old church in Rustin.
Was it an open mic show, or I don't even remember?
I don't think so. I think
We got on the bill.
I think we were the bill. I don't think there was anybody else playing. We had like 7 songs, most of them covers, if even 7. But we didn't get paid. But somehow we ended up getting a can of tuna fish as payment.
And that was
A regular size can or like an economy size can?
It was just a regular, like
yeah. It was maybe enough for like 4 good sandwiches or something. With if you're gonna use like tomatoes and cucumbers, but
right.
As far as I know, it's probably still in the bottom of that amp because Mike had a flip top, the Ampeg flip top, and we just threw the tuna can in there. So every time we played a show for the next 2 or 3 years, we'd open up the bass and
there was a tuna can in there
sitting in the bottom of it. It was funny.
basically what Scott's saying here is the tuna can was the nexus.
Yes. That was the fulcrum of how the band proceeded. You had to have the tuna can.
And that was the only show I think we ever did.
Yeah.
sounds like you guys were essentially a band for about 7-8 years before this came out. It's not a crazy long time, but it is a while of being together. I mean, I guess what kind of led to it, getting the chance to record it and release it? I could see, just having been in bands myself, I've never been paid tuna, but I have been paid in Mountain Dew and chili. So
once we had to pay the bar to leave because we drank too much.
Yeah,
A couple of times, yeah.
Well,
I mean, one thing about that record is a lot of the songs were released, I guess, independently by our own record company, I guess. I don't know how you would say it.
yeah, you guys did a couple of EPs prior.
It was EPs, but most of the songs were actually put on cassettes, made them ourselves, hand drew covers. Like, Are You Sleepy? The album cover art of the original cassette was a drawing that John had done when Sally, my current wife, was living in Austin, Texas.
There's a few.
And he came to visit one time, and I can't remember. I was watching TV or maybe playing a video game or something like that, and he was just sketching in his drawing, and he drew a picture of her. She's laying on the couch, and I'm sitting in a, like, I don't know if I was playing video games or if we were just talking or whatever. And he sketched this, and so she's laid out asleep on the couch, and I'm sitting there with this crazy look on my face, like I hadn't slept in 72 hours. And so we used that as the cover and called it Are You Sleepy? We always planned a song called Are You Sleepy, but we never ever made it. But a lot of the songs were also from a band that John was his solo band called The Memes. And this was before the word memes was even mentioned in our culture, basically. He called it memes.
I heard
and I was like, what does memes mean? And so he, probably 4 or 5 of the songs that were on Are You Sleepy, so we changed them a little bit, maybe added some stuff.
Scott added a lot of good lyrics.
They had been released along the way, but we kind of conglomerated everything to make Are You Sleepy, which we actually recorded twice too as well. We recorded it.
What was the impetus for that? Why did you guys re-record?
Well, kind of re-record. I guess we bounced everything from a 4-track onto an 8-track.
We kind of integrated it a little bit.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so we had 4-track recordings of everything. And then we ended up buying a Tascam 8-track 1/4-inch like studio Tascam from Kevin Barnes of Montreal. And it was a reel-to-reel 8-track 1/4-inch. I mean, it was built like a 4-track, cassette 4-track, except it had reels.
Really?
They were 1/4-inch. I mean, the whole thing was laid out in one piece. It was, all of your mixing and everything was on one piece. Not like a lot of the other guys had 8-tracks, but they also had to have separate mixing. So this was a mixer, equalizer, everything, and then but it was giant. And it was built in the 70s, and it was really, really amazing. So we bounced everything into that and then recorded tracks on top of the old tracks and that sort of stuff. So I guess we were never really satisfied with it. We just kept working on it for 10 years or whatever. So
that's one of the things that really strikes me is, like, at first listen, a lot of the songs seem like very similar to a lot of sort of indie fare of the time. But then as you listen to it, you can tell there's layers and other stuff that isn't a part of some other folks that maybe were making music around the same time and just after that. It's deceptively dense, I would say. It's catchy enough that on the first listen you enjoy it, but then as you re-listen to it, because you want to find that poppiness to it, you do hear more, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, it feels like power pop at first, but that's just the top layer. There's so much more going on than that.
Yeah, we put a lot of thought into it, and we put a lot of stuff into it. I guess that's how me and Scott worked together. We just had a lot of ideas, and that somehow they all got boiled down to a song. We're happy with it, and some of the stuff, that's why we redid it and stuff to it. But we kind of kept that feeling from the beginning.
So I know Will was responsible for the ambient pieces, correct?
He was our lead guitarist, and he was known as the Professor in the band.
Yes.
And
Yes,
Spiderfingers.
Spiderfingers and Professor. He was kind of like John Entwistle on a guitar. He was very into the sound atmosphere of quadraphonics, and so he set up a lot of the sound on the stage, a lot of it, and he was really good with it. Yeah, and then of course the ambient stuff, but he was lead guitar, and he added a lot of what the Gerbils were. I couldn't imagine without Will.
Like that lead guitar, especially on Glue,
Uh-huh.
my God, it's amazing.
It's an anthem.
Yes. What a fantastic
Yeah, and we used
song.
to I used to always say we weren't really recording artists. Like we were, I think we concentrated probably much more on our live shows.
Hey, you know, I never saw you guys live. That's disappointing to me.
Yeah,
I never
Will,
managed to do that.
yeah, and Will would. I remember one time we were playing at the bottom of the hill in San Francisco. Did he have 6 speakers that night?
Yeah.
He had speakers all around the room and stuff like. I mean, and this was 1996 or 97, and so it was pretty early, and there weren't a whole lot. Wasn't a whole lot of people doing weird stuff like that, especially at our level. You know, I mean, of course you could do it if you have hundreds of thousands of dollars. For that stuff, his main amp was 2 old record player amplifiers, stereo amplifiers, and then he ran stereo speakers from the big giant wooden box speakers that you saw in the 70s. So he had like a 7, you know.
Pardon to interrupt you, but that should be put into the Athens, Georgia museum history part. Yeah, because there's Ryan Lewis is the director there, and I think that would be a wonderful piece to put in there. But anyway, continue, Scott.
We called it System Travis because there was a bumper sticker that just said Travis on it. We have no idea where it came from.
We were low budget and scrambling for money. Will would look at this awesome guitar, but then it's like, oh God, Bill's sold the guitar. Where's your guitar? I don't have a guitar, but I'm gonna get this other guitar.
I want
I never really thought about it. I've always had a job as I've always worked full time. I was a carpenter. I still am in a construction company at this point. And so all of the music stuff is really just gravy on top of everything. I remember one year I added up, if you counted each different band, as a performance, because I was playing sometimes 3 bands a day with like Olivia Tremor Control, Neutral Milk Hotel, Music Tapes, Elf Power, or whatever. I played like 463 shows one year.
Did you say Great Lakes?
Great Lakes too. Yeah, Great Lakes.
Great band, Great Lakes.
I actually just listened to Contenders again last night. That's their newest album.
I love Ben. He's so awesome.
Yep. Yes, he is.
I mean, all these other guys they can talk to you at their era about music equipment and production, but I was always just really super live performance. And the reason that I stayed in as long as I have is just, there's that point when you're playing on a stage or whatever, and everybody is kind of zoned out and everything in the world kind of disappears, and you kind of touch that thing. Yeah. And it only happens to me, it happens sometimes recording, but with live, it might take a little while, but there's going to be that point where everything, all of your issues, problem, whatever kind of disappear, kind of like meditation, where everything just goes blank and you're like John was saying, you're in that moment.
I totally agree. Totally.
And you catch it sometimes during recording, but
I do remember hearing you yell "Holy shit" at the end of a song when you got it perfect.
I joked about things in our history and our existence, but we were very serious, very, very, very intensely, Scott and I think, and Will.
Oh, sure. Just because you weren't meaning to make millions off of it doesn't mean that it wasn't important.
One thing that I think that does really sort of stand out about the record is it doesn't feel very sort of pre-planned. It feels almost like a band recording live to 4-track and then doing whatever else to it.
Thank you. That was definitely something Scott and I were going for, was the live album.
The little of the other Elephant Six groups that I've listened to, it really sticks out to me. Whereas, everything I've heard of, but that is sort of like a quality that has really stuck out, where it feels these are some dudes who are just fucking around and recorded this thing, and this is how it came out. And there wasn't really a whole lot of thought into it, but at the same time, it is kind of awesome and interesting and all of that. So I'm just kind of curious how Are You Sleepy is different than the other album is in your mind in terms of the approach. I mean, the other album seems to be a little bit more polished, but it's still pretty raw and lo-fi. It's like 10% more polished, I guess.
Scott and I had a plan, or Scott spearheaded it, that he just wanted to record a live album. You just get it going, 1, 2, 3, 4, everyone hits it. So we were able to do a little bit of that, the second album, where we were in a studio that we could arrange it to actually play simultaneously. And we did some of it. It wasn't 100%. Do you remember how we did that, Scott? I'm kind of not remembering it total, but did that happen?
Yeah, we set up in Bishop's. Chris Bishop was the producer on a lot of that one. One thing that I wanted to note that's funny, because it's in the liner notes, and it says Jeremy Barnes, snare drum and cymbal. So
are you talking about the liner notes to Battle of Electricity?
Battle of Electricity, yeah.
That's all he played on tour. He brought 2 drums, and that was it.
Okay.
Yeah, and we recorded it that way. So he was set up with that, with just a snare, one cymbal. And if you listen to that, you're like, wait, that's all he was playing? Like,
I would have never guessed that.
Listen to it again with that in mind, and it will blow your mind.
Your eyes are bluer than the oceans of the world, and I want to swim them again. Your nose smells like a nose, and your ears sound just like your legs wrap around me, I fall from below, and I never want to go home.
We had long cords going out to different parts of the house.
Yes,
where
I'm kind of picturing it now a little bit.
we had the amp set up outside so that we could get a little bit of separation. But we sang everything and played everything in the room with the drums.
And with Jeremy, day one, he came in, he's like, this is my drum setup. This is what I'm doing.
And we were like, no way. But then you can't tell that that's
And then
all
it was
have.
like, well, this is what I'm carrying in, and
You
this is it.
were a
No,
little
I'm ready.
taken aback by
Yeah.
that at first, huh?
Yeah, I'll save my back, but I'll break my wrists. I don't know.
Promise to be good one time, but I'd rather make her wait. I promise to be good one time, but I'd rather make her wait. Endless, endless, endless waiting. Endless, endless, endless waiting. As the sun goes down, she finds it quite absurd. All the people looking around. Someone replies by her dress. She can't understand how she found this mess. Her wristwatch never stops. The sun is almost up. Then he feels the raindrops while her life is so fed up. Waits hard at as the sun goes down. She finds it quite absurd. All the people looking
In terms of the uninitiated, I mean, which do you feel is a better way to kind of get the vibe and fall in love with the Gerbils?
Oh,
I
can
can
you
obviously
hear me now?
blow, yeah, I can
Yes.
obviously blow hot air up your ass about how much I'm into you guys, but I'd rather hear kind of what your thoughts.
No, keep blowing, man.
And if like talking about what our brains were like at that time, like what were we thinking with it, is we like to play music. We played a lot of independent, unknown covers, like we would play Sabado stuff. But we could get away with playing that stuff because no one else in our town knew it. And so they would kind of think that we wrote it. We would always say we didn't write this. We would always, say here's a song by so and so. But they would be like, wow, I've never heard that song before. That's a great song, like that sort of thing. So, but it was all really cool indie rock. Like we played Tall Dwarves
Oh, yeah.
regularly. We just love putting shows together, and we always lived in a house. Like when we lived in Rustin, there was always a drum set up in the living room, and there was always instruments laying around and that sort of thing. And then when we moved to Athens, the same thing.
I think it was the
We had-
dining room where the premier drum sat and amps and stuff.
And
so people, just came in, hey, let's rock it out for 5 minutes, and then left. And
and so like the way the house, our house in Rustin was set up.
Did you ever have a key? Did you ever have a key to that house, Scott? Like official?
I don't think I ever did.
I don't think I ever.
Whose
But
house
there
was
was
it?
so there was a kitchen, and then just to the left of that, if you're looking south, was a dining room, but it was almost small enough to be a breakfast nook, and then a
Okay.
living room was right off of that. So the bands would set up in the dining room, and we used to have so many touring bands that would come by. like we had Low play there. We had Pork in the living room.
The kitchen worked out nicely as like a backstage kind of thing.
Yeah, but anyways, that record, it was a conglomeration of it was kind of more like a greatest hits sort of thing. So in Battle of Electricity was a little more cohesive.
We definitely sequenced them intentionally.
Put a lot of thought into it.
I think we probably thought more about sequencing of stuff than anything else ever.
Yeah,
Well, I would say you did a fantastic job, because for a starting song to a record, you can't do better than Sunshine Soul, and to end the album on Grin is fantastic.
which was weird because in the demo, I think Grin was the first one.
Really?
Yeah, because
I think that's wrong. I think you did it. I think you did it correctly when you fixed
we
it.
fixed it. Yeah, because that was the demo, and like Scott said, we extracted from that and grew from that and grew from that.
Just as far as the sequence, I found an old set list that we used to have that we played. I think it was Enoch's Cafe in 1980 or 1994 or something, or no, 1991.
Yeah, that sounds
in
really
Monroe,
cool.
and it was written on.
Awesome place to play.
We had the song list, and then we had parentheses out next to it, so it would say like Sunshine Soul, set or cast the bait.
Yeah.
Then the next song it said set the hook. Then the next song was reel him in. And then the next one was bash him in the head and drag him into the boat. Then the next one was throw it back because it wasn't big enough. And then cast the bait again. So we
You definitely put a lot of thought into the
preparation
sequencing.
into the set list.
I'm not saying it was a rock opera, but on paper maybe it was.
Very nice.
Yeah, so we try to keep telling a story and start from the beginning to the end, sort of.
I definitely picked up on that, at least in terms of the record, just because it feels like, just the first three songs, I found myself, even just in the first listen, already singing along with them, at least in my head. And then the record kind of goes on from there. And all three songs are unique unto themselves. It's not like there's a formula where it's like they're three of the exact same songs. It's almost like the first three songs are designed to be like you have no fucking excuse to go anywhere else but listen to this record. And that was kind of like, that was my impression anyway. So
I mean, God, going straight into Is She Fiona from Sunshine Soul. I dare you to not sing along with Is She Fiona.
Well, it looks like the fish hook did its job. I mean, that was the story right there. Logistically, we recorded the album in a studio in Corpus Christi. That means Body of Christ.
Corpus Christi, yes, Body of Christ. Everybody there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. All right.
I guess I just killed it. Thanks.
You shut it down, man.
I didn't mean to bring him in.
Yeah, no one has any idea what to say when you start bringing Jesus into the conversation.
I
got scared.
Don't Bother Wearing Seatbelts will return in 2 weeks with an all-new episode. It'll be a conversation with Elf Power's Andrew Rieger about his collaborations with Will Cullen Hart that resulted in the Leaping Through Poisoned Air EP. And in case you weren't aware, Don't Bother Wearing Seatbelts has a Patreon. Our show is free and will remain that way. However, joining our Patreon and pledging just $1 a month allows you to participate in our monthly giveaways and helps us keep the proverbial lights on. So, before we return with another episode, be sure to listen to great music, as well as do what brings you joy and fulfillment.